John Hancock and Chris Ranji on the show on KMOX. It's a stressful time of year, I'm told.
For many people.
For many, many people.
Lots of stress out there.
We're going to be joined by Leigh Richardson, who is a licensed professional counselor, who will talk to us about all of the stress that people deal with and how you can deal with the holiday stress. I've always found it interesting that we get so stressed out now. I understand depression. I understand feeling down, bummed, or whatever for various reasons.
Yeah, but the anxiety.
And it's not a thing that I experience. That doesn't mean other people don't experience it. And so we go to the Quiver River guest line, and Leigh Richardson, again, licensed professional counselor, founder of the Brain Performance Center, also an author of Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On, the how, what, why to peak performance. And Leigh joins us now this morning on KMOX. What's going on? How are you doing? And thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to say I'm pretty stress-free at the moment.
Okay, that's good. So you must be taking your own advice.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, why do people feel so much anxiety now? Is it as simple as there's a lot to take care of before the holiday actually gets here, or is it more than that?
I think it's everything. You know, there's still people have things on their list that haven't been accomplished. And there, you know, this time of year, we're spending more money. That creates more stress in our life. And we're worried about everything that we need to do. And we just lose the capability to stay present in the moment.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned the spending of money. That's a really interesting phenomenon because it's the one time in many households where the husband and wife have no idea what the other one is spending. And you think about it, that doesn't happen in the course of life. You're gonna redo the kitchen, you talk about it. Yeah, you're gonna buy a new sofa for the family room, you talk about it, you figure it out. At Christmas, because of the nature of gift giving, you're not talking about those things. And so part of the stress, I would think, is knowing that those bills are going to be coming to the house right after the first of the year.
And once you know that they're coming, then you have to start thinking about how you're going to pay them. So one thing leads to another. And I think, too, there's a lot of travel. We're out of our comfort zone in everything that we do. And that puts us in that stressful mode.
It does. And then, you know, the whole process of gift giving is stressful, I find. Because the last thing you want to do is you know, roll a dud. You know, if you're a poor gift giver, I mean, here, you know, your wife has gotten you this wonderful gift and you got her a, you know, bathrobe. And so
I think that's a great gift.
There's some stress associated with that, Leigh.
There really is. And even white elephant gift parties, you know, they can get stressful because some people get offended very easily. And it's hard. You don't know who you're buying the gift for. So it's hard to pay attention to their sensitivities.
I refuse to go to a white elephant party. If anybody ever invites me to one, I'm just that, nope, you go do whatever. Well, see, now I'm stressed out. I wasn't stressed out before, but I'm thinking about gift giving here, and I'm pretty much done for the most part. I got one guy, my cousin, I got to get something for him, but you know what?
You get gifts for your cousin?
Yeah, screw that guy.
Wow.
So my question is, all right, so people might feel stress because they want to give a good gift. Maybe they just don't have the funds for it. So there's a stress for I don't want to insult this person or, you know, underwhelm them. Like, how do you deal with the stress of feeling like you can't afford to get somebody a nice gift?
Well, I think you have to get creative. I really do, because it's almost the double-sided sword. You know, you don't want to tell them you don't have the money. That's embarrassing. So I think you have to get creative, and I think that you have to really think about what pleases that person, what makes them happy, and then try to find something within, you know, a price range that you can afford. Creativity is hard. It's really hard to think of, you know, what can I do with $10? If I had 50, I could do a lot. Yeah. So
What if you had a buck and a quarter? That makes it really challenging.
Yeah. That does.
Leigh Richardson is our guest. I would think that a good part of the stress level too comes with you've got all these family members in town. You've just successfully or not gotten through Thanksgiving, and now it's Christmas, and the whole gang is getting together again. And for a lot of people, that's stressful.
Well, it is, particularly if it's at your house. And you're the one that has to be sure that everyone has what they need. Just think about how differently everybody eats. And I got to be sure I have this for Aunt Susie and this for Uncle Bob. And then the accommodations in your house. Are you moving your kids around? Are you putting them all in one bedroom so that you have accommodations for the rest of the family? It really can. And while it's done with kindness and love, it really gets stressful.
It does get stressful. I can see that. But one of the things that I think is the emotion I most associate with the holidays, at least for a lot of people, is depression, sadness. Maybe somebody's not there that used to be there, or you feel lonely, or whatever it is. What are some things that people can do to feel less of that?
Well, I think you're right, because many times grief comes to play in the holidays, just as you said, somebody's not there that used to be there. Or, a lot of people, Christmas has changed in the last 2 to 3 years, and maybe they're still grieving for the Christmas they used to have. And I think what they have to do is refocus their thinking. And, I said it before, if you can stay present in the moment and practice some gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life? And if you can put your energy there, and think about what can I do to help somebody else? Nothing makes me feel better when I'm feeling down and out. Nothing makes me feel better than to do something for somebody else.
That's a really great point because for me, in the last several years, probably the last 5 or 6 years, our family Christmases have gotten smaller and smaller because, both of my grandparents have passed away and my dad and all of that. And I imagine a lot of people are going through the exact same thing. You used to have this huge Christmas party with 20 or 30 people, and now it's 5. Like, to how do you get comfortable with something like that?
Well, I think you have to, number one, accept it for what it is. And, you can always extend your Christmas it doesn't have to just be family. It can be family and friends. And sometimes different people bring in a different level of diversity. And we're all different. And we all can bring a different kind of fun with us and get creative. For me, creativity plays a lot because, use your imagination. And that's something that I think we tend to shut down. You can use your imagination and think about when I can't tell you how many times I've thought about what am I going to do with $10, and you get creative and you can do quite a bit.
Yeah. And time does march on. Life changes. Circumstances change. All of that is true. You talked about helping others, Leigh Richardson. She's a licensed professional counselor. She's our guest here on KMOX. You talked about helping others. And, one thing that can just really revolutionize somebody's Christmas is becoming a secret Santa. Finding a family that's, in more dire straits than yourself. And they may have a couple of kids. They may have lost a job. It could be whatever the circumstance. And sending gifts to that family without any recognition, that can be very revolutionary in terms of making the Christmas season, the season of giving, much more meaningful.
Absolutely. And I can tell you one of my favorite Christmas memory is a couple of years ago. I went into a Walmart and I was shopping, but I saw a family and, you could tell that they were picking it up, looking at the price tag, no, not that. And they had a budget and they were trying to stay within it. And I got behind them in the checkout lane and I paid for their bill in advance. That's one of the best Christmas memories I have.
And you know what? That's a really great one too. Not everybody can afford to do that, but
No, they can't.
People who can go to, the layaway at a Walmart or whatever and take care of a bill. It's just something that I don't think most who have means think about doing at a time like this.
I think you're right, and I think that we're all caught up in our own world, and sometimes if we stop and gratitude every day, I think of 3 things I'm grateful for. Now, some days it's the same 3 things in a row, but that just means I'm really grateful.
Last question before we let you go, Leigh Richardson. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question, because isn't there a Home Alone Christmas movie?
There is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's got memories with my kids, so that's what makes it special.
That's fair enough, because it is actually a Christmas movie and not some of these others that people are trying to pass it off like Die Hard,
Yeah.
Yeah. Leigh Richardson, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for visiting with us today on KMOX.
Thank you for having me.
Licensed professional counselor Leigh Richardson. Again, the book is Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On. The how, what, and why to peak performance.
Peak performance, something I've aspired to.